Well, alright everybody, we are back with our next edition of TEW9, the War of Immortals save with the WWF Classics. We are here booking Primetime Wrestling. So, we will take a quick look back at last week's show, even though we did do kind of a rundown before Saturday night's main event there. We'll just do another quick one. So Big John Studd defeated Genichiro Tenryu. Then we had Bobby and Tony run down our card. We had Greg Valentine defeat Tommy Rich. Demolition warn the Islanders. Then we had the Texas Tornado defeat Don Morocco. We had Harley Race giving his warning to Bam Bam Bigelow. We had Strikeforce defeat the Islanders in the semifinals of the World Tag Team Title Tournament. Jerry Lawler hyping up the fans. Lawler beating Harley Race. Jim Cornette talking about the World Tag Title match since Strikeforce moved on. And the Midnight Express were already set to be in the finals already because they had gotten a bye into the finals. So the Midnight Express defeated the Killer Bees. We had the Horsemen talking about how they want all the gold. They are going to be the champions. Then we had Arn and Tully defeat Demolition. We had Piper talk to Sid about, come on, if you want to fight, let's have a fight. We're going to have a fight at Saturday night's main event. Then our amazing main event, we had Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan defeat the New Horsemen, consisting of Barry Windham and Sid Vicious, which ended the show off with a spectacular 99 rating. The show was a 92. So, I mean, that's a really good show. We had a really great main event and everything. So, I will be right back. I am going to book the show. So, I will see you when we are finished. Alright, everybody, we are back. We have the show booked, and let's hop into it with our first pre-show match. In a pre-show bout that had good heat and decent reaction from the crowd, Arn Anderson defeated Tito Santana in 10:20 by pinfall with his spinebuster. The crowd at the end is expected in simmering. The wrestling rating is a 76. The crowd rating got a 62. And the segment got an 84. Tito had a 61, and Arn Anderson had a 92. So that's really good. Arn is performing a lot better than I thought he was going to. So maybe we'll see something a little more from Arn. And, maybe more from the Horsemen a little bit. So let's go in and start our show off. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting edition of WWFC Primetime. I'm Tony Schiavone, alongside the Brain, Bobby Heenan. And folks, we're just weeks away from King of the Ring on June 16th, but tonight the tournament officially begins with two huge first-round matches. That's right, Giovanni. We got two colossal matchups for the King of the Ring tournament tonight. First up, a battle of the powerhouses. The Texas Tornado steps into the ring with one and only Big John Studd. And I got to tell you, Tornado might be fast, he might be tough, but he ain't Big John Studd tough. And then we got a clash of pure strength and brutality. Haku takes on the former strong man, Ken Patera, in another first-round showdown. Oh, please. Patera's got about as much of a chance against Haku as you do against me in a foot race, Shivani. Haku is one of the most dangerous men in this business, and I think he's got a real shot at winning the whole tournament. But that's not all, folks. In tag team action, we have an absolutely explosive matches. WWFC champion Roddy Piper teams up with the legendary Harley Race to take on Bam Bam Bigelow and Sid Vicious. You want to talk about firepower, Shivani? Look at that team, Sid and Bam Bam. Two of the most terrifying men in wrestling, and they've got one goal: break Piper and Race in half. Piper might be the champ now, but how much of him is going to be left after tonight? And speaking of unstoppable forces, we'll also hear from the most dominant faction in the WWFC today, the New Horsemen, after Barry Windham won the United States Championship and Sid came so close to taking the WWFC World title at Saturday night's main event. Bobby Heenan and his crew have plenty to say. Oh, you better believe it. The New Horsemen are just getting started, Shivani. Barry Windham has already captured gold, and Sid Vicious, he's still the uncrowned world champion. You think they're done? You think they're going to sit back and let Piper enjoy his little moment in the sun? Think again. Tonight, the world hears from the New Horsemen, and you can bet it's going to be must-see television. It's going to be a massive night of action, fans. The King of the Ring tournament kicks off. Huge tag team action. The New Horsemen are in the house. We're just getting started, so don't go anywhere. WWFC Primetime is next. So the crowd heat at the end is hot and rising. The segment got a 91, which is really great. It advanced all of our storylines. Bobby Heenan improvised well throughout the segment, and the angle got the crowd hotter, and it got the show off to a strong start. So let's head off into our first match of the night. And a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling. Greg the Hammer Valentine defeated rugged Ronnie Garvin in 10:05 by submission with his figure four leg lock. Greg Valentine wins the WWFC $1 million title. So the crowd is hot. The wrestling rating is a 47. The crowd rating is a 49. The segment is a 56. Greg Valentine has a 42. Rugged Ronnie Garvin had a 52. So I guess I should have maybe put the title on Ronnie instead of Greg, but I mean, it is what it is. It advanced our storyline. The color commentary gave it a boost, and the commentary quality lifted the match as well. So let's head off to our next segment. Ooh, that was horrible. You know, I've been sitting in the back watching all these so-called top teams get their matches week after week, and something ain't adding up, man. Where the hell are the Freebirds? Where's the baddest, meanest, greatest tag team walking God's green earth? Why aren't we on these shows? We ain't ones to sit around and wait for handouts. We ain't gonna beg nobody for TV time, cause we ain't some scrubs trying to get noticed. We are the fabulous Freebirds. We made tag team wrestling what it is today. We revolutionized this sport, and yet week after week, we're sitting in the back watching teams like the Rougeaus, Money Inc., Demolition get our spots. Let me tell you something, we ain't waiting no more. If the WWFC don't want to give us matches, then we're going to start taking them. We'll walk right down to that ring and start beating people up until somebody listens. If you're standing in that locker room and you got a problem with it, I dare you to come do something about it. That's right, baby. The Freebirds ain't sitting on the sidelines anymore, so listen up, WWFC suits. Listen up, every tag team in this company. You either give us what we want or we're taking it ourselves. And trust me, it ain't going to be pretty. So they simmered the crowd down. The segment got a 37. It advanced the Horseman Freebird storyline. The angle I tried failed. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost and it cooled the crowd a little bit. So let's head to our next match. In a decent match, the Fabulous Freebirds defeated Cowboy Bob Orton and Magnificent Morocco in 12:04 when Michael Hayes pinned Don Morocco with his DDT. Michael Hayes was the weakest link, struggling to keep up with everybody. The crowd is simmering. The wrestling rating got a 60, the crowd rating got a 50, and the segment got a 64. Don Morocco had a 67. Bob Orton Jr. had a 58. Terry Gordy had a 68. Michael Hayes had a 44. It advanced the King of the Ring storyline and the Horseman Freebird storyline. Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Commentary quality lifted the match. The color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head to the next segment. You know, when I decided to step into the WWFC, I did it because I wanted to make history. I wanted to stand toe-to-toe with the so-called best wrestlers in the world. But so far, all I've been handed is a bunch of nobodies. I mean, come on. Look at the garbage I've been wrestling. These guys aren't worthy of stepping into the ring with royalty. They're not even worthy of being in my presence. Every single match, I go out there, And it's the same story. I dominate, I outthink, I humiliate my opponent, and I win. It's almost too easy. So I'm standing here tonight and I'm issuing a challenge. WWFC, send me someone who's worthy of my time. Someone who's actually got a backbone. Someone who won't just roll over the second they realize they're in the ring with the king. Because I didn't come here to waste my time on losers. I came here to prove that I'm the best in this business. And I'm not going to do that fighting guys who don't belong in the ring with me. So the challenge is out there. Who's got the guts to step up to the king? Who's willing to take a royal beating and prove they even belong in the same ring as me? I'm waiting, but I won't wait long. So the crowd is hot and rising now. The segment got a 79. It advanced our Andre Jerry Lawler storyline. Jerry Lawler improvised well throughout the segment. He benefited from having a hot catchphrase, and the angle got the crowd hotter. So that's fantastic. So let's head to our next match. In a decent match, Haku defeated Ken Patera in 950 by pinfall. The match was a part of the King of the Ring 2024. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating was a 65. The crowd rating was a 54. The segment got a 69. Haku had a 74. Ken Patera had a 55. The King of the Ring storyline advanced. The match suffered because of the lack of selling on display. The commentary quality lifted the match, and the color commentary gave it a boost. So we'll see Haku move on to the quarterfinals now. So let's head to our next segment. You know, I've been around this business for a long time. I've seen a lot of so-called champions come and go. But when it comes to a group of men that are built for dominance, built to run this sport, you are looking at them right now. The new horsemen are here, and in case you missed it, we just took our first piece of gold. Barry Windham, the best damn wrestler alive today, just proved to the world why he's the perfect man to hold this title. Texas Tornado, oh buddy, you fought hard. But Barry here, he fought smarter, and now this belt, it's staying right where it belongs, with the Horsemen. That's right, Heenan. I told everybody that the WWFC United States Championship was made for me, and I went out there and took it. Texas Tornado, you were just the first to fall. Anybody else who wants to step up, you're going to find out real quick why I'm the best thing going today. And this is just the beginning. Now let's talk about what happened with Sid Vicious. Let's get one thing straight. Sid didn't lose at Saturday night's main event. No. Roddy Piper barely survived. Piper, you walked out with the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship. But let's face facts. You were running for your life the entire match. You didn't beat Sid, you escaped him. And believe me when I tell you, Sid doesn't forget. Roddy Piper, you got lucky, but luck runs out. And next time, you won't get away the WWFC Championship. It's mine. It's only a matter of time before I rip it out of your hands, and then everybody's going to learn why I am the master and ruler of the world. That's exactly right, Piper. Enjoy your title celebration while you can, because sooner rather than later, Sid is going to take that belt and break you in half doing it. And don't forget, we still have Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard waiting to take the tag team division by storm. The New Horsemen are just getting started, and before long, every single championship in WWFC will be where they belong, around our waists. So the crowd heat at the end is white hot. The segment got a 75, which is a little low. It advanced the Sid and Piper storyline, the Barry Windham Texas Tornado storyline, and the Horsemen versus the Freebirds. The angle got the crowd hotter. So let's hop off to our next match. Oh, not bad. In a decent match, Andre the Giant defeated Bad News Brown in 10:23 by pinfall with the butt drop. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 68. The crowd rating is a 67, and the segment got a 77. Andre had a 70. Bad News Brown had a 66. It advanced our Andre Jerry Lawler storyline. There were times of lack of psychology on display and it had a tendency to drift, but Andre and Bad News Brown had pretty good chemistry and it lifted the match. The commentary quality lifted the match, and the color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head off to our next segment. Oh, not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Primetime Wrestling. Now, I know you've all been talking about it. I know the locker room's been buzzing about it. And I know one man in particular has been demanding it. So let's not waste any more time. Last Saturday night, at Saturday night's main event, we witnessed history as Roddy Piper became the first ever WWFC champion. But now the big question is, who's next? Who's going to challenge Piper for the richest prize in this sport at King of the Ring on June 16th? Well, I'm here to give you that answer because next week, live, right here on Primetime Wrestling, we're going to see one of the biggest matches in WWFC history. That's right. In the main event, it's going to be Hulk Hogan versus Sid Vicious. The two giants of the ring are going to square off one-on-one, and the winner will go on to King of the Ring to challenge Roddy Piper for the WWFC Championship. Hogan, Sid, two of the toughest, two of the baddest, and only one can move on to the biggest opportunity of their career. So mark your calendars, clear your schedules, and make sure you're tuned in next week, because this match you do not want to miss. See you next week on Primetime Wrestling. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 56. The color commentary gave the segment a boost, and the commentary quality lifted it. So we finally heard from our GM here, Mr. Euchre. In his first ruling, he has now booked Hogan versus Sid for next week, so we'll pre-book that match. I'll probably give it more time next week. So we now have that match booked for next week, so that will be our main event for next week. So let's head off to our next match. Ooh, and a decent match. Jerry Lawler defeated Kamala in 9:38 by pinfall with his pile driver. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 63. The crowd rating is a 65. The segment got an 80. Jerry Lawler had a 72. Kamala had a 54. Had advanced the Andre Jerry Lawler storyline. The creative finish that I picked was a success. The commentary quality lifted the match. The color commentary gave it a boost. And Colonel Robert Parker did some good work at ringside. So let's head off to our next segment here. I forgot to put it in. Well, this is pretty much just a promo from Jimmy saying, hey, you know what? I told you guys. We did it. We won the tag team titles. And the Midnight Express are the greatest tag team, like I said. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 68. It advanced the Midnight Express Demolition storyline. Jim Cornette clearly had enjoyed the freedom of going off script. The color commentary lifted it. The commentary gave it a boost. And Jimmy benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to our next match. In a bout that had decent wrestling but little heat, the Midnight Express defeated the Fantastics in 1309 when Bobby Eaton pinned Bobby Fulton with the Alabama Jam. The Midnight Express made defense number 1 of the WWFC World Tag Team titles. Bobby Eaton carried the match in terms of ring work. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 55. The crowd rating is a 41. The segment got a 69. Tommy Rogers had a 45. Bobby Fulton had a 52. Stan Lane had a 53. And Bobby Eaton had a 69. So it advanced our Demolition Midnight Express storyline. Bobby Eaton was off his game. Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane showed excellent chemistry. The commentary quality gave it a boost. The color commentary gave it a boost as well. Jim Cornette did good work at ringside. Both Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton have great chemistry with Jim Cornette. And Bobby Eaton is getting better at his gimmick. So let's head off to our next segment. Woo-hoo. Well. You know something? For weeks, all I heard was how old Sid Vicious was going to rip me in half, how Sid was going to destroy me, how Sid was walking out Saturday night's main event with this title. Well, guess what? He didn't. Sid, you threw everything you had at me, big man, but the difference between you and me, you talk a big game while I back it up. You'll learn the hard way that I ain't just some loudmouth in a kilt. I'm the first ever WWFC heavyweight champion. And let me tell you something, I ain't planning on giving this up anytime soon. And then all of a sudden, the Horseman's music hits, and Bobby Heenan and Sid Vicious come down to the ring. Oh, will you listen to this guy? He's out here patting himself on the back like he just conquered the world. Piper, let me remind you of something. That win was a fluke. Piper, you got lucky and you know it. You survived by the skin of your teeth. But I don't like losing, and I damn sure ain't gonna let some loudmouth punk be the face of this company. So here's what I want. You, me, King of the Ring. June 16th, and this time, I'll take what's mine. You want another shot, huh, big man? You want a rematch at King of the Ring? Well, let me tell you something. I ain't hard to find. You want it? Come and get it. But just remember this, Sid. Last time I took everything you had, and I'm still standing here. At King of the Ring, it's going to be the exact same thing. Only this time, you might not get up at all. So the crowd heat at the end is very hot. The segment got a 92. The storyline between Piper and Sid advanced. The Piper looked good. Bobby Heenan clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, and Piper benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head off to our next match. In a decent match, the Texas Tornado defeated Big John Studd in 9:59 by pinfall. The match was also a part of the King of the Ring. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 65. The crowd rating is a 66. And the segment got a 75. So the Texas Tornado had a 68. Big John Studd had a 61. It advanced the Barry Windham Texas Tornado storyline, and it also advanced the King of the Ring storyline. The color commentary gave it a boost, and Teddy Long did good work at ringside. So let's head off to our next segment. I told the world exactly what was going to happen at Saturday night's main event. I told everybody that Bam Bam wasn't in my league, and guess what? I proved it. Bigelow, you're a tough son of a gun. But toughness doesn't mean a thing when you step into the ring with a man who's been through it all. You came at me like a wild animal, but I tamed you. And when the final bell rang, I was the one standing, just like I said I would. But I ain't the kind of man to sit around and gloat about what I already did. That fight is done. Bam Bam, you can pick yourself up off the mat and figure out where you go from here. But me, I'm moving on. I didn't come to the WWFC to just take out some hotshot punk with flame tattooed on his head. Now, I came here for bigger and better things. See, I got a lot left in the tank, and there's plenty of gold floating around here in the WWFC. And if there's one thing I know how to do, it's win championships. So whether it's the WWFC heavyweight title, the US title, or anything else worth fighting for, you can bet your last dollar that Harley Race is coming for it, and whoever's holding that gold, you better be ready. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 76. It advanced the Harley Race and Bam Bam storyline, and the color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head off to our main event. In a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, Bam Bam Bigelow and Sid Vicious defeated Roddy Piper and Harley Race in 9:39 when Sid pinned Piper with a powerbomb. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating was an 85. The crowd rating is an 82. And the segment got a 90. Harley Race had a 81. Roddy Piper had a 95. And Sid had a 90. Bam Bam had a 75. It advanced the Sid and Piper storyline, the Harley Race and Bam Bam storyline, and the Sid creative finish that I picked was a success. And Sir Oliver Humperdinck did some good work at ringside. So let's check out our last segment. And then it was just Arn and Tully running into the ring and just attacking uh, Piper and Harley, along with Sid. All of them just ganging up and beating them up until Hulk Hogan comes out and makes the save. So Hogan makes the save here to help out Harley and Roddy. And that segment got a 91 and advanced the Sid and Piper storyline and the Harley and Bam Bam storyline. Tully Blanchard performed poorly in the segment, and Hogan came across well. So let's check out the final rating for the show. Got an 88, that's not bad. It increased our popularity in 8 regions, and we would have gained 1 in Canada, but we were limited to the number of viewers. The financial report, we made $1.1 million off of that show. We gained 1 in Hawaii and 1 in British Columbia. So, that is everything in this episode, so I will see you in the next one.